Hello and welcome to the 4th and 25 show. I'm your host, Will Kennedy. Today we have a special guest joining us on the show, Nikki Schiavinelli, an Arkansas beat writer for Rivals.com. Nikki, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for
Sounds
having me.
good. Yes. So, Nikki, is it ever difficult not to become a fan of the team you're reporting for?
Oh, I would say definitely. Most of us all we get into the business because we are huge sports fans and we want to spend our day to day covering it. But I think with all the ups and downs that you know going through that every single day brings, like you just kind of have to go with it and not let it affect you, or else you will spend your day like in a bad mood because something happened with the team or whatever, and like that's not really healthy. I think it's way better, like you would probably want to quit your job if you were that invested, especially like the way things went with Arkansas football the past couple of years. Like if you were that invested, it would be hard to watch that happen, I think, every single day.
So, what do you do day to day?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times, especially because I cover recruiting, I talk to kids the night before, talk to coaches, um, write up interviews for the next day. But a lot of the time, when it's a busy part of the year, like we just got out of one with basketball and baseball and spring football all going on at the same time, you kind of just go day by day, um, be ready to write anything that might pop up during the day, and then kind of plan out the stuff that you're going to have to write, like a preview for a game, or anything like that. There's a game coming up that night, so you just have to block out your time. You got to interact on social media and all that stuff. And uh, where I work, hogbeat.com, we have a message board, and that is where I'm spending a lot of the time during the day, uh, answering people's questions, because that's what they specifically pay for, on top of reading what we write.
You kind of touched on it. My next question is, how big of a role does social media play in your job?
Yeah, definitely a huge role, um, especially I think for a outlet like ours. I think a big draw of it is that you get to interact with, myself and Hutch, Andrew Hutchinson, on a day-to-day basis. It's not just, here's a story, enjoy it. Like we, are constantly interacting with people, and I think that it's good for the brand to have, like, your go-to people on social media. Like if a story is breaking, like you'll go check mine or Hutch's to see what we're saying about it. And I think that's pretty powerful.
Does winning or losing of the team you are covering, does that affect the viewership of your stories?
Oh yeah, no doubt. But it can also be like strange. The baseball team is very, very good. So like right now, this part of the season, some fans are just kind of like, okay, I watched the first few series. I know that they're good. I'm gonna wait till the end, for the postseason, because I know now that they're gonna get there. So it can go up and down. You have to keep, you know, getting the storylines that bring people in, keep them interested. Like not just, you know, we're winning, we're losing. The stuff that's going on, behind the scenes and all of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think especially with a subscription model, viewership might not be up and down, but subscriptions can be, because if a team's not good, why would you pay for something? Um, it will kind of make you miserable sometimes, but we're always trying to say, here are the things that you should be excited about, coming in the future, even if it's not great right now.
When viewership is lower, what do you do with your stories to make them more interesting for people to come view them? If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, I cover recruiting, so anytime you can get an interview with a big time recruit who's genuinely interested in the program. I mean, sometimes those are hard to find. You'll have to hit up 10 recruits just to find like that one that like has developed a really good relationship with a coach, and you're like, yes, got this one. I'm gonna mark him down, come back to him later, keep checking on him. With Hogbeat, I mean, a lot of people get in there because they like recruiting updates because they want to know how's the team going to get better in the future. A lot of people, really care about that stuff here at Arkansas. At other schools, it's not like that. So I'm lucky to be able to do that. But when things are bad, I mean, you just kind of, I mean, that's kind of almost when it gets fun because as a journalist, you just get to point out problems. You don't necessarily have to be the one that fixes them. So you just, have to be able to spot them, I guess.
If you're just joining us on the 4th and 25 show, we're sitting down with Arkansas beat writer for Rivals.com, Nikki Schiavinelli. Nikki, what is it like to be a female covering a football team in the South?
Oh, I mean, it's a lot of fun. There were, I guess, people that didn't think that, I would, I guess, stick around, or they didn't have a lot of confidence in me coming in, which was understandable. I was, almost just coming out of college to do it, but I did my flashcards. I knew all the players when I was coming in. I was ready to go. I had done a lot of research, and then I was, partnered up with Hutch, who is just like a historical database of Razorback knowledge. So we just work really well together. As far as being a female, I mean, it's tough. Like there aren't that many of us around, but I like the environment. All the older beat guys, I mean, they're awesome. They treat me like I'm one of them. It's fun.
As a female, was there anything you had to prove during like your job interviews or anything like that?
Um, Actually, no, not really. I mean, my boss, he had been kind of looking for candidates for the job, and he had been secretly like watching the work I was doing for the SMU site, and he could kind of see like, if she was doing this full time, I think, she'd be great doing it at Arkansas. So no, I didn't. I felt like I did have to prove it to the subscribers. I mean, they were paying for my work, so I did have to show like, I'm going to not be behind on a scoop. Like I'm going to know what's going on. And if I don't have an answer, I'm going to do everything I can to go find it. And I think that I have done that for people. Now they know.
Yeah. You said that you don't want to get behind on a story. What kind of resources do you need to have in this business to really be on top of every story that you put out there?
Yeah, well, Rivals, like, the reporters that we have a network. So it's great because like, let's say I can't get a hold of a recruit that I need to talk to. I can go to their profile. I can go check out the last reporter that had an interview with him, and be like, hey, how did you reach him? Like, did you get him via DM, like Instagram? Like, how do I get this kid? And then you just have to, I think, I mean, obviously build credibility. It's harder to get an interview with a kid when you have like 300 followers. They're like, is this worth my time? Is it legit? So you have to build that over time. And that just comes with continuing to do work and continue to interview kids as much as you can. And I guess just be on top of it, like always kind of be listening for what people are saying. Like I do have people DM me things that they think might be a scoop, and I'm going to go follow that up as best as I can. I don't usually like brush it off. I'm genuinely interested because it can come from anywhere, family members, random fans. Like it's amazing how much people want to talk sometimes.
How important is it to get the full truth of a story before you put it out there?
Oh yeah, it's definitely important. there's a lot of things that you hold back on because you want to make sure either that you have the full thing or that you understood it in the right way and you don't like misinterpret it. I'll just use recruiting as an example. I mean, kids tweet out all kinds of different stuff. Like it might be related to football, it might not be, and you're just kind of guessing sometimes. But I try to, I mean, I guess as I'm getting older, I don't always know what they're talking about. But yeah, I always try to make sure I know before I like tweet out like, oh, so and so might be thinking about committing to Arkansas. But it's hard, especially with college kids, because they're young, they make mistakes. You know that college is where a lot of people make mistakes, and so you don't want to throw someone out there to the wolves. And there are a lot of people paying attention when it comes to Arkansas sports. It's not just nothing that's gonna go away.
Nikki, thank you so much for joining the show. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Just you know be very multi-skilled. Don't put yourself in a hole. Be able to do a lot of different things, and be prepared to work really hard.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, again, thank you for coming on with me today. That was Nikki Schiavinelli with Rivals.com. And this is the 4th and 25 show with your host, Will Kennedy. We will see you all tomorrow.